In this video, I want to talk to you guys about automations. So our automation rules are built in Python, and what we've done, the big feature I think that is definitely worth hitting on is that we haven't just made this so that you have to know Python. We have integrated with a tool called Blockly. It's built by Google. And what you can do here, as you can see, is it is little puzzle pieces. So it's almost impossible to mess up the syntax of your coding here. So you just drop it in. And if you are a power user and you are familiar with all of the syntax rules of Python, you can use the code editor. But we'll talk about on the visual editor because it is a little bit more visually engaging. So here are some of the rules that I have on our demo account, and I'm just going to kind of run through them and the logic and some of the places that we have examples and the way that you would kind of build that. And so we'll just look at this first one. This is my forgot password rule. So if maybe this phrase or any of these phrases are in the message of the ticket, then we create a rule that says, looks like maybe you would benefit from a password reset. And then we go to a password reset link. And what we've done in some cases, we mentioned our our time zest integration. There are some integrations that have the ability to link a ticket with that specific URL. And so, maybe I'm not exactly familiar with all of the offerings out there, but if there is a password reset tool that Pax8 sells, we could change this out to include that. But so anyway, that would be a rule that gets generated here. And so they can be complicated, like some of these are a lot more complicated. I have this one here that says, if any of these items in this list, which we made them to lowercase, so in case someone made Excel or PowerPoint capitalized. And also their email is of the domain tier2tickets.com, then offer them training with Bigger Brains. And so, there are some accounts that use training with Bigger Brains, and some accounts, so some MSPs that we work with, they offer this service to some of their clients, but not all of their clients. And so this would be a more complicated rule for setting up certain items like that. The other items that we have are pretty straightforward, but we've got several examples that you can just drag and drop. We have one example here. It's a fun activity one that gets randomized every time, so you can call out to an API if you would like, and all you do is you would take that and you would just drag it and drop it. And so it gets rearranged. There's a satisfying little click. It sounds like, oh, this is where it's supposed to be. And then after you've gone through and you've changed things accordingly, which you can go and choose the certain variables that suit you. So there's really any number of things that you want to do with this, you can make it happen. So once you have everything in place that you feel like is what you wanted to do, you can go and you can test your rules. So let's try that password one. So we're running this test. Did I click that? Nope, there we go. And you can see we had a successful run here. And these are the results. These are the actions that we would see. So it looks like maybe you would benefit from a password reset would be an action. Here's our activity of the day, make a budget. Well, that's interesting. And then there's our reboot one that gets launched upon every ticket submission. So that's great. So once we're happy with that, we just hit Save Rules, and that is our Tier 2 assist process. In the same vein, our automations for our dispatcher rules are going to be pretty much similar. We've got a couple examples here. We mentioned our priority matrix. We can also add a rule that if someone is yelling at you because they are in more than 75% capital letters, then make the ticket a critical level ticket. So you can set those rules up here as well, and you would test them the same way, and then you would save those rules. So anyway, that's our dispatcher rules. They're pretty straightforward. You don't have to worry about any particular syntax rules for Python if you're not familiar with them. We've got this really fun interface that helps you create those those processes that you want your end users to experience without having to know a lick of coding. And so that's one of the things that we have built in that we were really proud of and are happy to share.